paper.
My name's Adelia Parker Castro.
Terry Lewis Harden.
My name is Darian Wickfall.
My name is Sam Wickfall.
Yeah, my name is Alonzo Townsend. I'm the son of the legendary Delta bluesman and Grammy-winning Henry Townsend. First story of his story, my dad ran away from home at age 9 years old. He jumped on a train, running away from a whooping from my grandfather, jumped on a train at 9 years old and made his way to St. Louis, Missouri, and took care of himself. I had my first daughter when I was 19. She's 11 now. And I didn't have a lot musically going on either yet. I was working 2 jobs. I think St. Louis is one of those misrepresented cities. Absolutely I do. After Michael Brown and some of the events that led up afterwards, the city is it's a murder capital. All we do is kill each other, and you don't go to St. Louis because it's dangerous. We have people marching all around the world for a young black kid named Michael Brown, and it just happened to be in St. Louis.
Well, like I said, I tell people that I grew up white because a lot of the things that I learned when I came to St. Louis, I didn't have in Decatur, Illinois. All I knew about was Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King, Lincoln freed the slaves, you know, stuff like that. But by the time I got over to St. Louis, I learned a whole lot more. I call it a little bit deprived because by the time I got to the service and was learning some of the things that I was learning, you know, I was like, why can't they teach this in school, and why can't you learn this in, you know, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade? And actually make a little money in the service for fixing people's cassettes and their tapes.
My first teaching job was at Capital City Business College, and it was during a period of time when there was this movement called Hands Across America. And so I just thought it was really important that my students be involved in that. So there, people were supposed to gather and hold hands all the way across America. So we were down on Market Street, and there were people were holding hands all the way across the bridge, all the way back west. And so my students were a part of that. I enjoyed that very much. Also when walking with the Dr. Martin Luther King parades, I loved photographing that, and I felt very proud that I was there with my children, teaching them that this is what you have to do in order to stand up for your rights, in order to be a part of the process, important to be a part of the healing that needs to happen in this culture.
Well, I think if you have something that's on your heart that needs to be said, don't let anybody talk you out of it. Step forward, but you got to realize who the audience is very important. If you want to speak revolutionary ideas, you have to understand that everybody is not going to agree with what you have to say. So you have to open your heart and look to those who are open-minded enough to hear what you have to say.
I think music has a big part in protest. Absolutely, I definitely do, because music has the opportunity to open people's eyes and have them listen to something that they may have not, either they may have not known, or that they may not have listened to in a sit-down conversation. My song, A Letter to My City, when it started playing on 88.1 KDHX, and before I started working on it, and a lot of people are used to bluegrass and folk on 88.1. We're transitioning, we're getting better, but a lot of those fans are from rural areas, and a lot of them heard A Letter to My City for the first time, and they didn't know about some of the variables and some of the problems that we face and we wake up to every single day, what our neighborhoods look like when we walk out the front door, the way that we have to feed ourselves, the way that we have to get to work every day or get to school every day, the way that we have to go out and be bussed out 20 miles away from us in order to get a quality education. A lot of them don't understand those variables until they hear it into a song form. They say, man, you know what, Lonzo, I never thought about it like that. That's everything to me. It's bigger than the song. It's bigger than, it gives me a feeling better than creating a song, because I just gave someone inspiration eye-opening. They just looked at it and said, oh man, you know what, I didn't even think about the variables that you have to go through every day.
How you done? Lord knows, I know ain't nothing changed. Hey you, how you done? Lord knows.
My aunt once told me that it's that my grandfather used to tie up the bathroom at our house with all this photography stuff, and that I was just like him. And so when I was finishing up my associate's degree at Forest Park, my teacher, Joe Engert, asked me, who influenced my work? And so I told him that it was genetic. So I've been taking photographs for quite a long time. Started taking classes at Forest Park Community College in 1976, I believe. Obstacles. One of the major obstacles was that I was a very young mom. And so I had a son to raise, and then eventually a daughter to raise. So it was finishing up my basic education, and then employment, and then the struggle to become a registered nurse so that I would have full-time employment to care for my family, and doing that and going to school at night, taking 1 or 2 classes to finish up one degree, and then the next degree, and then the next degree. I was studying for my Master's of Fine Arts degree. I was able to go to school full-time at that. Obstacles were, I guess, like everyone would have, you know, finance and social support, a support system, family and friends to help me care for my children and myself.
Say, you know, kind of deprived, because what that is they try to steer you, as a young black male, they try to steer you from things that, you know, that you can learn or probably even make a decent living at. And that's why I kind of say, you know, deprived. A lot of the hardships, you know, from the time from school all the way up, you know, I've been homeless before, you know. People don't realize how that happens, but it happens. And during that time, you know, I learned a whole lot of things, especially like being humble for one, and also how pride will send you to those places. And what I mean by pride, meaning if you need some help, you should ask somebody. If you need help, ask somebody. Homeless was like my blues, so to speak. And because I, you know, grew up with so much different types of music, I was able to listen to different types of music while I was down in Texas. I was in Dallas and the Austin area. And being in the Austin area, that was around the 5th, 6th Street down in Austin. That's down there where all the music clubs are and live music and stuff like that. But it helped me cope a lot because I call it the 3 R's. That's what music does for me, is relaxation, remembrance, and remedy. And when I say remedy, it helps you get through some of the toughest times. Well, it's 2 things that I'll never deny anybody, and I'll never deny anybody something to eat, and I'll never deny anybody somewhere to sleep. If I can help you, I will. My grandmother used to say a long time ago that if you hesitate to help somebody and you're able, then you're wrong. So if I can help them, you know, I will.
Change. We can be that change. We can be that change. Oh, we can be that change.